Yo guys, what is going on? My name is Fisher. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a wonderful morning, noon, or night, whenever you're watching this video. Hope it is going well for you. Now today we have a tutorial on how to make this nice little webcam border for your streams today. But before we get into that, I do want to say that I do stream on Twitch almost every day, if not every day, at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you just want to come out, hang, vibe, chat, do whatever you want to do, link is in the description below. Now let's get to the video. Alright guys, so once you have Photoshop open, you're going to want to go and create a 1920 by 1080 workspace or artboard. I like using the artboards. A lot of people in the design industry don't really like using artboards. I don't know why. It's a very efficient way to work, especially if you want to keep all your designs or all your assets in one place. So I use an artboard rather than just the blank canvas, just so I can have that bit of more functionality with moving things around. So you really don't have to name it off the back. We're not gonna do that. Yeah, so we're not gonna do that. So the width 1920 and height 1080, as I've already stated. Resolution can stay at 72 unless you're going to be printing this thing out, which obviously you're not because it's going to go on your stream. Then you would move it up to 300 or so, but since we're not printing this out, it is just going to stay at the resolution of 72. I keep it at RGB, background transparent, just because I like it like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and create this artboard. All right, boom, this artboard is created now. Okay, so let's start off by using this picture right here. So we're just going to put this in right here, and then we are going to scale it down just so that we have a basis of what this is going to be like, so we can actually form the webcam around the border, so the size is actually correct on this webcam border. So let's go ahead and the first part that we are going to do is, like I stated earlier, we are going to make this border. So I like to get in really close and match everything up. We could fix this later, but boom. All right, there we go. Let's give it a fill color of black. Boom. So we're already starting out and getting everything set up as needed for this. Next part, so right now what we're doing is we're just gonna block out everything, and then we'll go back in and add the detail later. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna create the rest of the border. So if you guys saw in the picture, we're gonna go ahead and create this border right here, put a little bit of a stroke on over here in the right side of the screen. There's a little stroke button right here. Sometimes this will be off. It was off for me, just because I like having it off. I don't like having a default stroke or fill color on. So right hand side, this is fill and this is stroke. So we're going to tick on stroke and we can pick the color we want. Obviously we want black because that is what we're going for. So let's go ahead and boost up or increase the size of the border, and I kind of like that right there. And secondly, what we're going to do is that we are going to change what direction or where the stroke is actually placing on this border part of it actually. So if we go to this first little panel right here, if you see, we can go ahead and see right now that it is set to the inside. So what that means is that the border will start to protrude from the inside, and we want it to well, actually we can keep it on the inside, but we would like it to be on the actual middle of the border. So we already did that. We did it. It is good. Now that we have the outline almost done, we are going to go in and we are going to put in some creative elements here. We're going to make a box, okay, and we don't want the stroke color on this part just because it's going to be a filled in part. So we can click off to get off the stroke, and then we can actually go in here and click that fill button so it fills rather than strokes. And what I like to do here is I like to zoom in, and I do this a little bit differently. This is me. Let's go ahead and center this. I'm pretty sure that our picture is centered already, but if it's not, there we go. Yeah, it's already centered. Okay, so looking at our black box, we want it to have that that kind of rhombus shape, the curve shape. Well, not even curve shape. It tends to slant inwards. That's what I'm trying to say here. So we want to select our box here, click one of these angles, and with this direct selection tool selected, we can go ahead and we can manipulate this however much we want. So what we're going to do is I am going to bring this in a little bit. All right. There. That looks good. Looks like it fits. All right, so we're already starting to get some variation here in this webcam border, but we want to stretch it out just a little bit. So Control T will bring up the transform tool, and you can literally just transform it any way you want to. We're gonna hit Shift to constrain it so it doesn't actually blow up, where we just wanted to go on one axis. Okay, so we're making this a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and do it some more. Boom, we're good. And we're gonna go back to our move tool. Click this, and then we want to align this to the center so it sits right atop my head and it's aligned to the box or the border of this webcam. All right, so hit that button and that'll center it. So now we have what looks to be a rough version of our webcam border right here. So we are going to continue on with this. What we can do is we can give it a little bit of more flair here, but actually we're gonna want to start blocking out the words and how the followers and subscribers or whatever metrics you want to put in this is going to go. So we're gonna go grab our text tool. Actually, first we're gonna put a little divider here. So create a new layer and put a little divider here, and you can literally change the color to whatever you want. This we're just going to go with yellow. Zoom in a little bit, click the move tool, zoom in. Oh, zoom out just a little bit, too far. Click it and transform it, and I want it to be a little bit skinnier, so holding that shift key will allow you to constrain to a certain axis. So we did that. Let's click this check mark, and then let's go ahead and center that. All right, so it is directly in the center. So we now have a bar that is going to divide the follower metric and the subscriber metric, or whatever metric you want, so they're not interacting with each other. So good, that looks good for the time being. Okay, so let's actually pick a font to kind of block out where these words or the metrics that are going to be shown. I need to remember that in my mind. Yes, the metrics that are going to be shown in this webcam border. So I am going to put it right here. Gotham Black. Doesn't matter what font you use. So change the color to white, because sometimes by default it's your last used color. I like my webcams to have a variation of color, so I chose white for that, just because on a black background it stands out a lot. You could have chose yellow so it could be cohesive, but yeah, like I said, design choices you may not understand, but yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, so we're gonna bump up the text size, the font size. All right, so this is something decent that we can use. Actually, we're gonna take it down a little bit. It's too big, and then we can track it out. Tracking right here. Oh, that's not tracking. This is tracking right here, just so it gives that width and we can fill it up there. All right, so we got this, and we're gonna change this to be let's go followers. Okay, and then with the Alt selected on your keyboard and Shift, you can just drag it over. There is about good, and we can literally do subscribers here just so people know what it is. Okay, it doesn't really matter. All right, so another cool thing that we can do with this is we can add even the icons here. So let me see if I can grab some icons from a previous project, just so we don't have to go and find icons. Both of our icons are here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these and drag them over just above or on top of this, and then we're going to scale down until we have a decent size, the right size for this webcam border. So we've got that. I like this size right here, and then we are going to drag this one all the way over with Shift, which will constrain to that axis, and we're going to put that right here. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to play with the widths and the kernings of this, just so everything's equal distance between each other, because you really want it to look good. Okay, so now that we got that done, we can literally go in here and just fiddle with some things. You don't really have to, but this is what I like to do. So I am going to go and change the icon colors. You can do this one of two ways. The easiest way for me, and the way that I'm going to talk about today, is the color overlay. So double click, or actually let me get out of this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go down here to the FX panel right here, click this, and you'll be able to see all of these effects that you can do really quickly here. So the one that we're going to want to do is color overlay, and that means we can literally change the color of the whole image that is there. So you see it originally populated this with green, and we want to do this yellow right here. So we're going to zoom in, and we're just going to pick this little yellow right here, and boom, look at that, we're good. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing over here on this side. All right, click this icon, color overlay, and then we can go over here and we can select this. It'll be easier. Boom, look at that. Look at that. This is the start of a webcam border that actually looks really cool. It's bold and simple, and I think it will work for you guys. All right, so if you guys saw in the preview, there was this little gradient that we had here, you know, just so it fades from webcam to this black. So what we're going to do is we are going to make another black box right here. All right, and by default, no fill. So let's go ahead and let's change that to that black. And then we're going to want to come over here to the bottom right hand side, and we're going to want to click this mask right here. All right, and if you don't know, masks are a very good way to hide or show things non-destructively, so you don't have to keep on creating boxes or whatever you want to create if you mess up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our color panel, going to click this, right click it actually, and hit gradient tool. All right, and by default it should be set to this black to black, and what these top things does is it creates that that gradient effect. So it goes from black to black here in the color, but it is transparent on this side, so it literally fades to nothing, and that's exactly what we want. So we're going to shift, and we're going to click right here and pull this up, and look, it's starting to create that effect right here. Sometimes you literally have to play with it to try to get the correct gradient effect here. So let's see if we can do it. We're getting close. There we go. That looks really good. I like the way that looks. So yeah, we're getting further and further to completing this thing. Now let's go ahead and let's give it some flair. So what you can do, if you see or if you look at the example image here or wherever you see it, we can put some flair to this. So I'm just gonna by default name this Velocify, just because it's something that I came up with off the back. Velocify, boom, and we can center this. Actually, let's go ahead and maybe kern this out a little bit. Okay, make it bigger. Boom, I like it. All right, and we can actually center that. If you remember, align and then center with this button right here. Okay, so it's centered, and let's bring it down a little bit just so it fits within the box here. Let's go ahead and bump up the size of this. All right, I like that there. Okay. All right, so this is starting to look very good, starting to fill out, but we're not done yet. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make some I want to say some elements to boost the how do I say it, to boost the I don't know, to make it look more interesting. That's what I'm trying to say here. So we're gonna make this look more interesting. So we are going to zoom in here, and we are going to just make a box. Okay, so what you can do is that you can make it the width or the height that is of the word that you have here, but you don't have to. Don't feel like you have to be constrained to that. So I'm gonna make a box. We're gonna fill it with the color yellow, just like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna push Control T. All right, and then you are going to just hold Control, and you can scale it or shear it back and forth. So what we want to do is we want to make it the same angle as the end of this box right here. So shear it to the angle that looks good. All right, just like that. That looks good. And what you can do is maybe scale it down a little bit, just so that it fits. I like things that fit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, and then, you know, we can just literally make this smaller, you know. Go ahead and scale it down a little bit. That's a little bit too much. Boom. Just like that. Make it smaller so there's some variation in what you're doing. Copy this and literally just make a very, very, very simple pattern. All right, so just to give this some flair and some variety, we are going to color overlay, or when you make a shape, you can just go to the shape layer right here, look at the fill, and then you can change it from up here. So we're gonna make this white instead of yellow, just so that it pops a little bit. And you can group this, and we can name it flare. Let's do that. Flare. Copy this by hitting Alt and then just dragging up or down to where you see this little blue line in between the actual layers. Do that so it's copied, and then Control T, and you can literally move it to the other side. And what we're going to do here is we are going to go to Edit, and then free transform, or actually just transform, and then we're gonna flip horizontal. So therefore we can literally just flip it like that. I think that looks really, really good. We can go ahead and we can scale these down just a little bit, just so that it's not taking up, you know, a whole bunch of room. All right, and then we can select the second one and move it over just so it fits in there a little bit better. Okay, and then take the first one and scooch it over. Boom. I like the way that looks a lot. I like it. All right, so let's continue on. Let's go ahead and create more flares. So copy paste that, and we can literally put it right here in the corner. I think that looks good. And then we could literally copy the first one right here, hold that, copy it down, and then we move this over to the side right here. All right, so what I like to do now, all right, is I like to copy the first one right here and then the other one right here, and then we could literally just copy that again, Control T both of them, flip it all the way around, right? Then move it down, have some variety here. Move it down just a little bit more. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that looks really, really, really good. And we are nearing the end of this tutorial. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to make some side type of flare, or whatever you want to call it, variety, the notches. Yeah, we're going to do that right now. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a box right here on the side. All right, and by default it's filled with white because we changed the color over here. So what I am going to do here is I am going to zoom in, and with the direct selection tool we're going to select this point, and we're just going to go down what, 10-15 ticks. Oh, after we turn this into a live shape. All right, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Gotcha. And then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. That's how I do it. I don't know about other people. All right, so we can move this to the back by literally pushing Control and the bracket button. Let's see how far it's gonna move. There we go. All right, so we got this in here. Now this is a little harsh. It doesn't have to be this harsh. So we're going to kind of hit Shift and move it back to constrain it. Boom, I like that right there. And if we want to add some more flare, we can literally do that. Oh, I undid what I did. All right, so redo that, and we can copy and we can paste that with control and just dragging down or up, whichever one you want to do it. And oh, wrong layer selected, so let's go ahead and do that. Dragging down. Okay, retransform to bring this back out, and then let's go ahead and let's scale this like this, just like that. Okay, and what we can do with this is we can change the color by your swatches up here. This may be different. This is how I configured my layout in Photoshop, but this may not be here for you. So let's go ahead and click that, and that looks good. Actually, let's go ahead and push this back a little bit. Oh, let's get in closer so we can get a better better understanding of what we're actually doing here, and move that up a tad, just like that, just like that. So you get a hint of that yellow in there, and you got the white, so they're not really competing like that. And I feel like it's just a good addition to this this webcam border. So what you can do is that you can copy both this one and this one right here, and you can group it, and you can go sidebars is what I'm gonna call it, sidebars, and we are going to make a copy, right? And then what we're going to do is that we're going to move it all the way with Control T to this other side, and then we're just going to flip it, and it snaps in place if you flip it and use hold down your shift key. So that is what that does, and boom, look at that. Look at that. So we have just created a bold yet simple webcam border that you can use for your live streams. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. I hope this has been helpful for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to leave this down in the description below for you guys. So if you want to use this in your live streams, you are more than welcome to do so. I may give you the icons as well, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys. Before we go, I want to say that I do stream on Twitch almost every night, if not every night, at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you just want to come out, hang, vibe, chat, do whatever, link is in the description below. Until the next video, peace.